Hey everyone, this is Tom and the collective team that is the Miscrits of Namekian Witness Protection, or just Team NWP for short. We're coming out of what was a fairly interesting weekend with the OC Nats of 2021. Couple of things that made it not quite what we expected, but you know, we powered through, and a couple of us got top 16, a couple of us flopped, myself included, and a couple of us slept. Not naming any names. So, to give a brief rundown on some stuff, there was a bit of miscommunication that kind of started the day in a bit of a weird way with, I know some of the deck submissions were a little bit late and some technical issues there, which caused the event to start like 40, 50 odd minutes late. But
with buyers, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and stuff with buyers, getting all sorted with, I guess both yourself, Pete, and Berto, you guys qualified for a round one buyer, which was awesome. And lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So with there was a bit of a miscommunication with the way the end of time procedures were going. So about a month or so ago, Bandai updated their end of time procedures. There was a lot of emphasis on the way tiebreakers worked, because that was like a massive change. Because usually we didn't really have tiebreakers to determine a game before, so that was a big thing. But in the event page where we actually bought the tickets, it stated in there what we'd usually expect. Time gets called, you get 10 minutes extra time, three rounds, and then tiebreakers resolve it. So that's what we were going and presuming. But when we get there, the judges clarify just before the round starts that if you're in game 2 of 3 and time gets called, game shuts down immediately, and whoever wins game 1 is declared the winner of the whole round. You don't get any of your 10 minutes extra time. So I feel like that miscommunication, or just kind of misinformation, threw a loop for a lot of players, I know myself included. But I mean, either way, the judges and the TOs, they definitely followed what Bandai actually had intended for that day. So I guess props to them. I guess did I miss anything? Anyone else have any experience that I missed?
Like I was pretty pissy about the situation, mostly because on my own fault. Like I got home like when I first saw the Bandai things, I actually missed that first part about if you're in game 2, winner is just determined by game 1.
I missed
all
it.
that. I read it like 10, 11 o'clock at night when I got home, and I was like, okay, cool. Games are determined by life, battle cards, whatever's in deck. Didn't even notice the first point, and like on the day, yeah, I was like thrown through a loop. I was like, oh, they changed the rules. What the hell? So yeah, I was a little bit pissy about it. Then I've read through the things and like, oh, okay, no, that was my fault. I didn't read the things, but it wasn't just me. So I'm glad I'm not the only idiot on the server. So there was a lot of other players that felt the same way. Like they got stabbed in the back with this thing. Nothing against the TOs or judges or anything. They had to deal with what I thought is one of the worst rulings we've ever had in Dragon Ball. Like basically it's turned best of 3s into a glorified best of 1. Like you win game 1, you have a huge advantage. You can just waste time. Like it's pretty easy to do so. Like especially on webcam, games go long enough as it is. Like it's just crazy. Yeah, that's my input. Like I would apologize to anyone that was a bit crappy towards too about the situation. So yeah, learn to read, people.
Learn to
read everything.
Yeah, I think it was just basically Tom and Zach kind of nailed it. You know, in the butt. I think that was just a slight maybe error from whoever's part of, just not as much transparency. What Bandai was basically saying in their rules for the new floor rules to transferring it over to Eventbrite and everything. Just there wasn't, one didn't kind of reflect the same as the other. But as Zach said, obviously whatever we get provided by Bandai, just go off that. That's gospel. And I think everyone can like Tom and Zach said before me. Yeah, this new format and everything that we had, basically revised best of 3 floor rules, were absolute trash, I'm not gonna lie. As Zach said, glorified best of 1, that's what best of 3s have turned to. It wasn't just us, even in America, players were complaining that game 1 basically gave the other person a huge advantage, and a lot of people actually set their decks up to be best of one-esque in the sense mainboarding answers for particular matchups, because if game one went for too long, then game two there was going to be a struggle to potentially finish that, and then the first player who won game one would automatically best of three match, which is actually like at that point it's like, where's the skill? Because there's so many things that come into play. There's no skill in slow playing. Anyone can do that, and it's like someone can just happen to win game one with whatever cheese thing possible, right? You're the better player. You have your sideboard. You have your sideboard tech. You come back and win game two and game three, but that's been eliminated in a sense because the other person will just slow play the crap out of you. And then you have people that take it the wrong way, like it happened to me. Not naming a certain person, just a Cell Surge player. I called them out for slow playing it because they were 110% slow playing me. They were taking the extra time to basically, how can I sort of put it? Actually, in a nutshell, you know how you can basically watch videos like 0.5 seconds slower than normal, you can adjust the different modes. This is how this player was playing against me. You have normal speed, 0.5 speed, and then another like, neg 1 speed and everything, like just so slow. I felt like basically I was watching a slow motion movie and I'm like, bro, can we speed it up? And it's just stuff like that. So basically these new floor rules have given way to people having that mindset, which I think is bad. So
yeah, I think the other issue is, and I think as a player base, and I've talked to about 10 guys between the event last night and us recording this, I think 9 out of 10 of those people, and I think we can all admit, when we saw that list that Bandai posted out, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like we went down the number list, we read it, and we said to ourselves, that makes sense. And as Dragon Ball players, I don't know what it is, and people are going to boast to say, oh, I read all the cards, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, go get a medal. But we do have an issue. Sometimes we just don't read. Like, it's just a thing. Like, when you get your bill, do you read the whole thing, or do you go straight to the number of how much you have to pay? We have a habit inbuilt to us that we just look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like, okay, that's the rules. I'm going to follow it. Completely missed that paragraph or two just beforehand that actually states what we needed to read, and we just overlooked it.
Yeah.
There's miscommunication between the site, like Zach said, where you purchase the ticket, and the actual rules. And I think the player base kind of just has to accept, we made a mistake, we weren't as prepared as we could have, and at least we know, let's take it in our stride kind of thing.
That's it. And I don't know, for me with a bill, I always look at the due date to see, all right, I got like 2 weeks.
Numbers.
Yeah. Anyway,
you guys pay your bills?
For me, apparently not. I got a late notice. I forget them. Anyway, moving on to something a bit more positive. Do want to give a massive congrats to yourself, Umberto, and Pete. Both of you performed incredibly well with getting top 16. Umberto, you got 9th. Awesome effort. And Pete, you got 14th. Again, awesome effort. I don't even know what number I came. I just know I wasn't even close. So.
But you should know. We just talked about how numbers are important, you know?
I should know. I think I was in like the low to mid 30s.
All I know is I beat Tom, and that's
what's
important.
But did you guys actually verse each other?
No.
Oh, no, I was going to say. Oh, you mean basically in the sense ladder-wise? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't have to.
It made it sound like just then you guys versus each other in one of the rounds.
Actually, who's going to drink the King's Cup? Who came last?
That would probably be me.
Oh, I feel sorry for you.
You had to drop out around early, didn't you?
I did, yeah. The wife invited the parents over, and it was rude apparently, so I had to drop out at round 6.
Oh, wow.
Possibly be like a fine print exclusion clause there.
So then that immediately what? Oh crap! That makes me by default.
I was waiting for it.
I guess I scoop.
Wait, again, we're gonna go to round 5 standings and see where it's at.
Gosh.
We'll find it. I'm sure it's gonna be me. But what I wanted to do is, I guess, start to get a bit of a recap of what the day was like, because I know for me, like the way the day started and then kind of kept going with, especially with not expecting how much these new floor rules would actually change the gameplay, it definitely threw me a curveball. But I guess Berto, you were the highest places for us. Did you want to start us off with like a rundown of what your day looked like?
Well, I woke up extremely early because I'm in Perth, so that was kind of upsetting. I got my up and go and sat in front of the computer and decided whether I'd get a coffee or not. Then I found out, I was actually playing round 1 and I thought I had to buy, so that was a thing. So that was delayed a bit, and I think we all got exposure to that. We all had to sit there and wait, like, what is going on? like this kind of stuff happens. Like it's just the way it is. Like the guys behind the scenes fixed it up. They sorted it as quick as possible. They even stated that, hey, this program is not as good as we were hoping. Give us a little bit more time. They got onto it. They fixed their issue, and then from that point, I can't actually say there was any like technical aspects behind the scenes that actually stopped us. It was more players actually taking the time, which we've already discussed. I think Pete discussed that specifically. There was no withholding of time in the back end with the program or the organizers or the judges. So I mean, after the event started running, it was actually quite smooth. Like we can't actually even point fingers. There was little mistakes here and there, but that was to do with little technicalities. It was pretty smooth from that point. It was good that when we did have an issue, the judges came in. I got to give it props to
Gary and Ryan. Gary Baker and Ryan Hurden, yeah.
Gary came into the game, and in particular, I was playing, so a PX3 member, Jason Stubbs, shout out to him. And we went through the raw processing, and there was a little bit like, things going on in the game. We were a little bit over time, and I was like, okay, this processing, the end of 10 processing, basically just stuffed another perf boy up, and I felt bad as crap. And even Gary was like, look, this is unfortunate. He was being really sincere, he was being really honest, and it was just just a top bloke at that point. He even admitted this is pretty unfair, but this is what we have to go on. And I would not want to be in their shoes, having to make those decisions and say it to people and possibly make them upset for the day. Like, they did it like a champion, so clap to them, both of them. And to all the players that played, like, you guys need to recognize that you are the reason why this actually happens. We don't really have as big of a player base in the US, and like, we got to appreciate each other. We got to like just say, pat on the back, good on you. Hey, you want to play some games later? Like, this is why this game's succeeding. And if we don't give recognition when recognition is due, not just to the top 16, but to everyone on that list, even if they basically ducked out, then we're basically doing an injustice almost, because everyone is why this stuff happens. This is why
situation medal.
But this is why this is so good, because this community is something that was made just out of the pure love of the game, and we got to give everyone the props that they deserve. Or else we're not being honest and we're not being fair.
I'll give myself a pat on the back.
He always gives himself a pat on the back.
He does more that to himself.
Yeah. Overall, it was good. The people made it. I remember my very last cell matchup. It was probably one of the most casual, chilled, and I think I laughed myself nearly to tears in that game. It was that much fun.
Nick Nikolovsky, shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. You're an absolute
weapon of a person, awesome personality. The only bad thing about him was he was playing Soul Surge. But I still love you, brother. You're a top bloke.
Yeah, I said that about 5 times during the game. But yeah, no,
I played him too. He was pretty cool.
I probably shouted enough. Like, it's literally, it turned out, even though we have to overlook certain aspects, it was okay. It was really good for an online event, and we just got to accept it's the way it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
That's my take.
Awesome. And I guess, Pete, you and Nexar suffers, so did you want to give us a rundown on what your day looked like as far as like your matchups and overall experience?
So I'll start off by saying I went to bed very, very late and probably operated on about 5 hours sleep max, if that.
You're welcome.
I know, right? Lol, this guy. Anyways, I was ready to actually maybe drop out and not even play the event at all. I was that tired. And with all of the delays at the start and me having the round 1 bye, I was watching everyone else play, and just with how tired I was ready to just collapse. But I'm like, hang on, let me have a coffee, let me have an energy drink. I soldiered on, ended up, first match I versed Gohan Icarus that I actually played to that guy, super nice guy, very different build, more of an aggro, skillless, spam build. Next match was against Cell Surge, not naming anyone in particular, but that was the player that actually slow played me quite a bit. That I drew. First game, he just took his time. I had to get the judge in and everything, which was unfortunate. It's like, man, I kind of am of the opinion, honestly, if you call yourself or think yourself to be a competent player, you should be about 1 to 2 steps ahead of what you're going to charge, what you're going to do. You should know theoretically what your deck does and everything. Just play the game. Don't sit there like taking 5 hours to make a move, 5 hours to charge and energy. And that's what my issue was with this guy. It was just, it felt like he was playing in slow motion. Anyways, I came back one.
I was going to say, that was your draw match, wasn't it? Because that went to game 3. And...
Yeah, I think you witnessed a bit of it as well.
Yeah, because I had to buy that round.
I'm usually pretty composed. Not too much gets under my skin, but like this guy, I kind of like lost my composure a bit in the sense I was like, dude, come on, man, stop slow playing me. Like, anyways, I came back one game 2, but we ran out of time, so it had to be called as a draw. Next game was a Golden Freezer player I versed. I ended up losing that 1-0. Bit of a rough start. Didn't see my unison on curve. I didn't have a main deck answer to the 5-cost Freezer Divine Transformation. And everything. It's the one that basically deflect double strike, pops the board in rest mode, and when it swings, if you activate a counter attack, it gets to lock 2 of your cards for 2 turns. And into leader. Very, very, very good card, especially if you don't have the answer for it. And I kind of feel like not having my Babe Unison on board and not having an answer to that card kind of ran basically with, the game away, like myself. And I kind of feel like, I guess my thing that I can blame myself in that matchup, I could see that I was losing advantage after a few turns of him having established 2 of them on board. I should have just scooped game 1. Yeah, he basically was starting to lock 4 of my cards for 2 turns.
Oh, that's rough.
Right. Yeah. So I should have just scooped game 1, gone to game 2, sided in what I needed to win, then potentially gone to game 3, and I might have even drawn that, or maybe won. Who knows? So that was my mistake, I'll admit. But in game 2, I put in the sideboard cards I needed to, saw my unison on curve, and I actually was in a good position, but we couldn't finish the game because of new time rules and everything, and just dragged it out. So it is what it is. Next game after that was Gohan Icarus, 2-0 that player, and then not much to say there, and everything kind of went how I expected. Last match was against King Piccolo, and I 2-0 that guy as well. 8-drop Kefler and 10-drop Fu, very good cards.
I remember overhearing that, just like you go 10-drop Fu, like 3 seconds of silence, and then like GG.
Yeah, and then my opponent's like, GG's. I'm like, well, yeah. Especially when you have Boo Unison, Keflar, 10-drop Fu on board. It's like, represents 6 damage. But he was a nice guy, my last round opponent, so shout out to him. And then, I ended up finishing 4-1-1, which got me into top 16, so pretty happy with that. Especially, like I said, after, playing the entire day with a very short lack of sleep, so... Yeah, still got there, but I wish if my only complaint, I know it probably might have been a player size thing. I wish we played out, I wish Top Cup playoff was like top 16 instead of top 8, because that's generally what Nats is, or what Nats, major events are. Like the last one was, I think it was around the same place we had, for the last one, maybe not, but I just wish it was top 16 because it could have been anyone's ballpark at that point. We're only doing 8 players, it is what it is. But no, honestly, most of my opponents were pretty good. No complaint. Other than that Cell Surge player, everyone else was pretty good. It's just like I said, the new time structure rules didn't really help trying to finish game of 3 matches, which kind of, I think, cost me in those 2 matches where I drew and basically lost. The other ones, I just made sure that plays quickly as and efficiently as possible, and that's where I was able to own my opponents. But
that's good stuff.
But no. Overall, though, it was a cool event. I'm glad that we have webcam because it's better than nothing. I will admit that. And props to Bandai, the TOs, for making that happen. So we still have a way to play Dragon Ball throughout this entire COVID thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But in saying that, I think I can speak for everyone, not only here in Australia, but around the world, for the majority of people. Everyone is just crying for like in real life events back and everything. The weekend was like a 5 to 6 hour like online Nats event here in Australia. That I can tell you now is just as grueling as a 12 to 40 hour in real life event, only because you're in front of a computer and everything. You're not in front of a person, you're looking at a screen. It's actually a lot more intense and everything. Not trying to say it's more skillful, it's just more draining and everything, fatigue wise and so forth. So in real life events, that's just the way to go. And I hope we get them back soon. So
yeah, good stuff. I guess I'm gonna throw over to the other side of my screen. Hey Simon, how you doing, bud?
Hey, how you doing?
Did you want to give us a rundown on what your day looked like?
Introduce myself first. Simon, newest addition to NWP. Known Zach, Tom, and Pete for a while now. couple of years playing locals, and yeah, really cool bunch, chill guys. You need any cards, they're happy to lend them to you. So yeah, been getting trained by Pete, who's such a high caliber player. You can't help but learn a heap of fewer things. So
Poor bastard.
yeah.
Thanks, Simon. Appreciate the
Nah,
kind
it's been
words.
really
Still
good.
like
He's put tons of hours in Untapped live games, just friendlies. Yeah, definitely learn a fair bit and hope to learn a bit more and yeah, bring some results to the team. Happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, happy that you're here, dude.
What about you, Zach?
Well, the morning wasn't a good start. Got to Tom's place because I was playing there, and first thing I hear is, "Hey, router's not working." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
great. I'm going to hotspot this in the middle of Kurrumbong." Like,
Yeah, my
I don't know
internet
what that
chucked a
is.
wobbly in the morning.
so we got it fixed. So we're able to play. No issues. Just a nice wake up call. First round I played Kefla Surge. Feel sorry for that guy because I think it was like seemed like his first tournament or like very new to the game. And
sorry to cut you off, Zach. Guys, we should have probably said what decks we played. I think we completely forgot.
no,
No. We leave that for the individual videos that will come later.
Okay, we'll do that.
Spice.
All right, we'll do that.
Spice.
All right, sorry.
Okay, well, I won't say what my leader was, but I was playing 2 cards to just make playing counters and untapping a pain in the ass. That poor bastard. He Dimension Magic when I had 4 of those guys on board, and I'm just like, "Are you sure you want to untap?" Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna stomp him anyway, so I thought I'd give him the fighting chance. Like, "Are you sure, buddy? This is what my guys do." Yeah, no, I'll untap. I was like, "Cool. You need to discard another 2 cards." After discarding those first 2 cards for activating Dimension Magic, he's just like, "Oh, yeah, that probably wasn't a good idea, was it?" I was like, no, it wasn't. Anyway, he was a cool guy. Like, nothing against him. It just, I felt bad for having to stomp him like that. No, not really. I enjoyed it. Then I think I played Soul Surge against that guy Umberto played. Cool guy. Couldn't do anything because all my stuff got played in rest mode. So I got 2-0 there. Then I played Icarus, stomped him. That poor guy. I just kept removing all his skillless cards from his drop or just from the field and like into warp, so he couldn't even recycle them, and didn't have a good draw engine. So 2-0'd him. Then I played Gogeta Mira. I got tunnel vision. I was like, okay, cool. I can just block this. He'll have to pass turn. Not forgetting that he had 3 energy open. He just played a mirror and swung for big damage. I was like, crap, I lose here. So, and then did that twice. Like, both games, I'm pretty sure I would have had him. I've got to go back through the recording, but I'm pretty sure I had him both games if I just didn't get tunnel vision. Like, I had enough stuff in hand to combo out of it. But it is what it is. Then I played against Android 16. Had no idea what the deck did, so I was kind of like,
that was against John, right?
Yeah, like top bloke, really fun game. Threw me through the ring because I had no idea what his deck did. D2O'd me. Still a fun game. What am I playing next? I think I played Icarus again. That was a very close game. He won the first round, and I was able to scrape back both games and only won by like 5k in combo. But the highlight of that game was he played his pan. I was like, crap, he's got a pan on board, he's got a double strike. I don't know how to clear this board. I can't attack anymore, so Thording's off the table. You go, oh, wait, I can just free play pan. Tap an energy, steal his pan, then tap another energy and steal these double striker. Problem solved. And that's honestly what won me that game, just clearing his board with his own pan.
Okay, pan, time patrol, maiden, broken. Buy your copy now.
Secret rare from the latest set, just bonkers.
But over the day, like, it was a pretty good day. I think MVP for me was definitely Blacksmoke and Kai. Just the amount of draw I had was dumb. So had a good day. Tom?
Throwing it back to me.
Oh.
So, my day. So my very first round, like, I'm going to say what I was playing because I was playing what Bodo was playing, but he played it better, so we'll let him do the profile. But I was playing mono yellow Gohan Icarus. I've been playing like yellow as far as Golden Frieza goes for like the past month and a bit, and was very confident with playing yellow. I didn't have any problems piloting the deck. It's just more the matchups I had that I lost were like, I don't know really what this deck does enough to know how to play around it. So my round one was against Jimmy from PX3, and I was actually kind of happy that was my very first round as well, because like, all right, let's start the day off with someone that I know. Yay. He was playing Jiren, and he really, yeah. He really shouldn't have given me as much information on how his deck runs for it being nuts, but the dude just like vomited out his entire strategy in game one. I ended up losing game one just because I didn't really understand the deck. And this is kind of where I fell victim to the time rules, because I was like, okay, I'll take my time, analyze what the deck does, and then I'll know what to do in game two. Game two, I was feeling a lot more confident, but then time got cold, game was over. After that, had a buy, so I was chilling for an hour. After that, I was actually able to play against someone called Gavin McNabb. He's around in the community. Been chatting with him for a bit, just on and off selling stuff, but funny guy. And it was probably one of the games I enjoyed the most out of the entire day, just because it was a bundle of fun. And I think it pretty much sums up my day, because outside of that, I played against the Gogeta Xeno, which I won 2-0. And then my last round was actually against Jason Stubbs, also from PX3. He was also playing Kid Icarus, and that was probably the toughest match that I had. I mean, end of the day, we're all completely brain fried, but he got me in the first game, and then I got him in the second game, and then we're in the third game, and this is where we're in that position of 10 minutes extra time, 3 rounds each. And it's interesting, like, as soon as you get to that point, knowing what the tiebreakers are, that completely changes your mentality or your strategy on how you feel you need to win. Because I completely and honestly fell victim to the, all right, I know he's only got one more turn after this. I need to just hit him with as much damage as I can and knock him down as low a life as I can. And then just defend as much as I can on my turn, even if it means I drop my entire hand, because then game's over. But
it's not a very good mentality, is it?
It's not a very good mentality. It's really not. And not only is it bad for like taking away from the game, it also just made me play bad, because I ended up losing because I played too aggressively and didn't have the resources to defend myself. So definitely something that any player needs to be mindful of when you get to that time. Don't get your tunnel vision stuck in that, all right, tiebreakers do this, let's just try and win by tiebreakers, because it's not fun to play that way, and take it from me, you play bad. So all in all, even though I didn't top, I ended up going 3 wins, 3 losses for the day, which isn't the greatest, but I still had a lot of fun, because the opponents that I was able to play against were great people. Now, the one odd soul that's sitting quiet in the corner, Matt. What were you gonna play, my friend?
No, he's doing his own thing.
You're really gonna make me do this, aren't you? All right. So originally, I had planned to play Zamasu, Fuse Zamasu from set 7.
It's on my deck of you guys, just in advance.
Oh, shut your mouth. But after much annoyance and much stupidity on my part, and couldn't be bothered going and grabbing a Baby Hatch secret rare to borrow for the event, I decided to go with Gogeta Xeno. Stayed up most of Friday night trying to work out what I wanted to do with that, and then decided to go full retard and sleep an extra hour.
Jeez.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't really have high hopes coming into it, because playing a deck that you haven't played before just in the sheer fact of, okay, I'm just going to wing it based on the deck is fairly strong and it plays a little bit to itself in a way. It was definitely rolling the dice, but I mean, from all of the issues that come about with time and whatnot, to be honest, I was sort of glad I didn't play because I'm the type of person that gets easily frustrated and then makes stupid mistakes because that's just how I do things. But yeah, all in all, it was not too bad. I mean, I was quite happy to help test for all the other guys. I mean, I think I've probably put in most of the time and effort testing with Birdo because he makes me. But yeah.
Good stuff. Well, that pretty much wraps up like how nuts was for all of us, but unless there's any final words before I tell people to shut up.
What? You shut up.
Wow.
I think we just gotta thank like the people that back up. So we gotta thank obviously this place right here. You know this place right here. You know this one right in the corner. Gotta give thanks to them.
I've never heard of that place. What do you mean?
That's
wow.
100%
No,
big.
We love you, Josh. I know Josh Collectibles. You're a weapon.
and all the guys there, Gats, Milner.
Yes, of course.
Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. No.
No, okay, hang on. I'll take it up. Okay, no.
You're meant to be leading this boat, mate. You're sinking
no,
it.
Oh no.
Right. I'll
Grayson and Dean, we got there.
No, just picking off from where Alberto basically where he showed the map. Shout out to No Josh Collectibles, Josh Manzanetta, Nathan Gaddis, Anthony Milner, owner, shop workers that do a lot of the local organising for the local tournaments, DBS, Digimon, Pokemon, all that stuff. The guys do singles, card game, playing accessories. You need anything, just hit up No Josh Collectibles. Super friendly staff. If you guys ever want to buy product and actually watch them open on stream, they do offer that service. So super nice guys, very supportive sponsors, and they basically are in the business for the community, not solely to only make money, but honestly like to grow the hobbies in the region that we're located in, New South Wales. I'm basically more hunter, the guys on the Central Coast. No Josh is in the Central Coast, but super nice guys.
Yeah, 100%.
I think me and Matt have to have a special thanks because we struggle at our locals, so we have to thank the boys that do show up. So I just want to extend that thanks to obviously Spence, Williams, Liam, Josh, Oscar, Alex, even though he barely shows up anymore. Jesse, who comes around quite regularly. Like if it wasn't for those boys, I wouldn't be able to get games in, and without Nemecans, I wouldn't even get the practice that I really needed. So I think I've got to say thanks to my local boys because, I mean, it basically just gets me through the week some days, and obviously it got me here. So
yeah, no, honestly, like all of us just working together and everything. Like shout out to you, Tom. Shout out to you, Umberto. Shout out to you, Zach. Shout out to you, Simon. Shout out to you, Matt. Like you guys.
You get a shout out. You get a shout out. You all get a shout out.
No, being honest. Like, I mean, it's a collective, and this is what being part of a team is all about. Like, we all helped each other out with playtesting. Matt with basically, his Matt ideas. Contributing to other things behind the scenes. Simon showing the enthusiasm to get better and better, at the game, and he really has. And everything I've ever seen, compared to when he first started. I kind of basically was on one yellow deck that I wasn't nearly going to play for the event, and that I was testing with Tom and Umberto and Zach for a while, and then I'd done a full 360 and decided to go with something blue. So, but shout out to the guys. Sorry.
After you told me not to go Soul Striker, by the way.
Exactly. Well, surprise. You'll see a deck profile. I ended up playing Soul Striker blue-yellow. So
never listen to Pete. Like,
no. If you want to go far in life,
he tells you not to play 3 Heartfelt Plea. You've played 3 Heartfelt Plea. It goes good.
And this is why you didn't win the event. Anyways,
I'm sorry. In that same event, did you even get close to top 4 at PPG?
No. Well, I mean, I've won in real life regionals, so until then.
I know not to go to in real life for things. I have a job.
All right, let's get back to it, boys.
Anyways, but before we do go, I have to give a massive shout out to my mate Benjamin Law, who always helps me out with cards. basically not just G1 Secret Rare, stuff like that. This, if I can find it. Hang on, the baby.
It's alright, he only dropped it.
Oh, no. It's always true. Double sleeve, then etc. Where are you? Come on. Okay.
That minute comes out bent.
Oh, well. This is his blue hatch, baby hatch secret rare. Shout out to you, Ben. You're a good mate. Thanks for trusting me with your cards. And then if it wasn't for you as well contributing, I wouldn't have gone a top cut placement at Nats. So love you, bro. Good shit.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, I guess we're gonna wrap up and stay tuned for, I guess, a couple of profiles coming up, particularly with Pete and Berto if you're keen. And otherwise, just some fun and funky shenanigans in the future. Now that Nats is all done and dusted, looking forward to the fun side of this. So